Hi, my name is Jill and I am a food addict and I just went 60 days no emotional eating and no binging, and I am here to do this video to tell you what all I did to make it through the days because they have been hard. So like I said, my name is Jill and welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, I am so excited to do this video because for the longest time I did not have any tools set up for myself when it came to emotional eating, and I also really just felt confused and didn't know what I needed to do to get to the place I knew I wanted to be. So if you guys find this video inspirational or helpful in any way, make sure you like it and share it. And also, if you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and make sure you leave me a comment down below. I also want to say real quick that I do have a channel membership if you guys are interested. It's going to be linked down below in the description box for you guys to check out. It'll tell you the different tiers and what the perks are in each of them. And if you don't want to do it in the description box, it is also right by the subscribe button, right up underneath this video. There's going to be a join button and you can just press that button and it'll tell you everything that you need to know as far as joining my channel membership. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. So before I start and go into my toolbox, I do want to say that I have been in therapy for almost a year and I have been going every single week for said year. I also last year in about September or October sought out help and I got myself a nutritionist. I did for a little bit intuitive eating, and I took a lot of those principles and have adapted those principles into what I'm doing today, but I am nowhere near being healed. However, I will say that I have kicked an addiction, and that was smoking cigarettes. And if you smoke cigarettes, you know how incredibly hard it is to give them up. Even 3 years in, I still get cravings for cigarettes and I have to make a choice. Sometimes it's a subconscious choice, sometimes it's a conscious choice, but either way, every single day I'm making the choice to not smoke cigarettes. And I wish that I had this back then. It would have made my life a lot easier. Before I get into this toolbox, I do want to say that every day I stay proactive in keeping myself busy and keeping myself away from the things I know don't make me feel good. So if I'm just sitting watching TV all day, that doesn't make me feel good, so I don't do it anymore. Not to say I don't watch TV, but you will not find me sitting there just laying on the couch watching TV anymore because I don't feel good doing it. I won't sit there and watch YouTube like I used to anymore, and I won't sit there and be on social media like I used to before because it made me feel like crap. And so I took it out of my life. Does that mean that it's going to be out forever? I don't know. But I really have no intention on going back to anything that doesn't make me feel good. So we'll just see. If I don't enjoy it, I don't enjoy it. So that is something that I make sure that I'm proactively doing every single day, is making sure that I'm keeping myself busy, whether it be with work or with my kids or with doing something for myself like my meal planning or meal prepping, making sure that I'm keeping myself busy, going to the gym, getting a workout in. I'm working out every day at least 20 minutes. So these are things that are very, very, very important. But obviously with all of those things, I still have had days where I have been like, okay, I need to stop what I'm doing and I need to figure out what's going on because we need to figure this out because we want to eat and we don't want to do this. So I have this notebook right here, and in this notebook lives my why. I think everybody needs to sit down and get real with themselves and really truly write out from the heart what their why is. And I feel like it needs to be incredibly personal to each individual. Now, when you open up this notebook, I also have pictures. I used to only have pictures of me thin and like what I want to and like what I'm aspiring to look like again. And then I got to thinking, I said, Jill, you need to put some pictures of what you look like now. Maybe some pictures of some things, maybe some pictures you don't like the way you look in them so you can see, this is what I'm trying to not do, because it's so incredibly easy to lie to ourselves in the mirror or to not willfully see what it is that is truly there. I'm so guilty of this. So next, when you open this up, I have my folder, and I am doing bingo cards, which it has been incredibly life-changing in the past 2 months, and I'm gonna keep doing them, and I'm so excited for them. I have those on my other channel, so if you want to go check those videos out, I will link them down below in the description box. But I have those as reminders that I'm doing hard things and I'm working on myself, and I can get through this, and I will get through this. But I just have quotes on this side. I have lots of quotes to remind myself why I don't want to binge, why I don't want to emotionally eat. And me and my nutritionist have been talking about lately, my biggest thing about why I don't want to emotionally eat is because I don't feel good when I do it. And I've been feeling really good about myself and about my choices and just about life in general. I haven't been experiencing depression, anxiety. That has subsided substantially in the past 2 months, and I can't even imagine what it's going to be like 6, 7 months down the road as I continue to keep this as a habit. But that's another thing, is really truly changing your habits. You cannot go into any kind of addiction thinking that you're going to come out of it on the other side being the same person. I mean, honestly, I did when it came to smoking cigarettes. But when it comes to tackling something this difficult, this really has deep emotions tied to why I was eating. I cannot think that I'm going to literally stay the same person and conquer this addiction at the same time. So I'm also reminding myself of that. I have lots of quotes, but I also have lots of journal prompts if I want to write in my journal. But that is also something that I have been doing daily, proactively, is journaling and also gratitude entries. Those are also very important in just kind of getting your feelings out. Sometimes I'll just do a brain dump. Sometimes I'll do a journal prompt. Sometimes I'll envision what I want my perfect life to look like or what I want my ideal day to look like. There's so many things I will do with my journal. It's not just like a Dear Diary kind of thing like I used to do. So next, in this part of the folder, I have this notebook. On the front of this lives my why, and I'm not going to show it, and I probably won't ever show it because it's very, very, very personal to me. So in addition to my why, I also wrote a list of things I don't want anymore and things I'm looking forward to. So just to kind of read out a couple, I do not want to have a hard time breathing, but what I do want is to breathe effortlessly. I do not want to struggle putting on shoes. I want to be able to put on shoes without struggle. So that, I just made a list of thinking of things that I currently can't do or things that really, really, really bother me. Now, I know this kind of goes more into if you're overweight and dealing with a food addiction and binging and all that stuff, but I still think that this is important because I think like writing down what you don't want and what you're striving for is something that if you're in the thick of, oh crap, I want to go binge, I want to go eat, or whatever your addiction is, I want to go smoke, I want to go drink, you can literally sit here and read your why and then sit there and see what you don't want anymore and the life that you're striving to live. So again, I just use this as a journal. I use this to write notes and make notes and all that stuff, but this is where my why lives. So if I'm having a really hard time, I told myself the first thing I have to do is come and read my why. Now, actually, a lot of times I'm able to just do it in my head, and I use this notebook all the time, though. I just use it all the time. Here in this other pocket, I also have something from my nutritionist, which you guys could probably, it's from intuitiveeating.org, but it basically is deconstructing eating behavior, and it talks about like, you need to identify what you're feeling. A lot of the times what I'm doing now is talking to myself in my head. Why am I feeling this way? Immediately when I start to feel like I want to eat, I'm like, okay, what are we feeling? And was there something specific that has happened that is leading me to feel this way? And I'll kind of talk to myself and I'll identify feelings. So this is like a little feeling. There's actually a feeling wheel that you can go onto. It's a website. I will link it down below. And that's a really big wheel with lots of different feelings. My nutritionist did tell me, like, if you really can't come up with exactly pinpointing what you're feeling, it's okay to just say, I'm feeling uncomfortable. And then from there, we have lots of different things on what we could do. So I would suggest that when you go to tackle this, you set yourself up. I created this basket in December when I was still emotionally eating and binging because I knew I was wanting to set myself up for success. I wasn't ready to start yet. So I was setting myself up, okay, what are some things that I can do if I want to binge? What are some things that I can do? I already have a list, but I know I need to add to this list because here's what you need to do. You need to find other coping mechanisms and coping tools, which is what this is, to help you get through the urge. Because from what I hear, the urges and from my experience with quitting smoking, the urges, as time goes on, they get less and less and they get less intense. If I have a craving to go smoke a cigarette, the craving hits and it feels kind of strong, but as soon as it comes, as quickly as it comes is as quickly as it leaves. But it used to not be like that. It used to not be like that. So I can easily just go, that was weird. Okay, and just go on about my day. But here, I'll just put this up for you guys to see. So just to give you guys some ideas if you guys want to copy this. But then also, I suggest that you come up with your own things that maybe are goals of yours or things that you want to do, things of interest of yours. So that's something that's really important. This was something that I relied heavily on when I was doing my intuitive eating, and I was definitely still emotionally eating, but this was another thing I did. I got the food out of my house. I got the food that was tempting me because I know myself well enough that I knew that if I had this food still in the house, and even though I created this toolbox, I was gonna go to the food every single time. So I made a little rule for myself, or like a guideline for myself, because we don't like to say rules. I made a guideline for myself that you can have anything you want, but if you want it, you gotta go out of the house to get it. We're not bringing it in the house because we need to do the work. We need to do the internal work. And as long as the food is here in the house, I am going to choose the food to comfort me versus actually having to do the work. So that is something that I really highly recommend and suggest that you do too if you're able to. When I had the chips and all of the goodies in my house, do you really think I was gonna sit there and like do this? No. So I had to take action and say, okay, bring it out of the house, take it out of the house. It's not gonna be as tempting. And on top of that, if you want anything, you can have anything you want, but you gotta go work for it. You gotta go out of the house, you gotta get into your car, and you gotta drive there. No delivery, none of that. And let me tell you, that is something that has been huge in me not binging and emotionally eating as well. And then also I have here the cognitive triangle. So just kind of what are my thoughts, what are my feelings, the behavior that I'm trying to not do. And then on the back, I wrote challenging your thoughts. And I just wrote things, are my thoughts accurate? Are my thoughts helpful? What can I say to myself that would be more accurate, positive, or helpful? What are the advantages of staying on track and not binging? Something very powerful. Think about if you give into this binge, how you would feel 2 months after this binge. I did that journal entry the other day, and I put myself in the situation of me giving up and me giving into a binge, and the emotions that I felt. That was such a powerful activity for me to do. And I told myself, that's what I'm going to do if I ever have a day where it just, the urges will not go away. I'm going to visualize and write down. And as I'm writing, visualize and feel what it would feel like. Feel how my kids would feel, how it would be disappointing them, how it would be disappointing and letting myself down. It was very powerful. It literally had me crying. So another question is, how would you feel right now how would I feel right now if I binge? What feelings am I trying to avoid? So this kind of goes, these two really kind of go hand in hand together. And then in the back of my notebook, I just have some more pictures of myself thin. So that is what's in this notebook. I also have lots of pens. So I have those and I have these. So I can have fun writing in my journal and writing my notes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this right here is actually my notebook for my meal plan. My nutritionist did give me a meal plan. And it's not like a specific meal plan where it's like, eat this, eat this, eat this. It's more so, eat this many proteins, eat this many carbs, eat this many fats, focus on trying to get in this many vegetables and this many fruits a day. So it's very time consuming though, which is another thing that has been keeping me busy though. I have been really loving doing my meal plan. So we have a meal plan, and that is my notebook for my meal plan. And then in here we have coloring books. So I have really had to only use these a couple of times. I'm gonna show you one. This is the one that I did. And then this is the one that my son had started working on. He's really good. But yeah, I have coloring books. So I got this little Barbie one, and it has like little activities. I actually bought this because my parents came into town and I knew we were gonna go to a Mexican restaurant. I also knew we were gonna go to a restaurant with bread and just tempting stuff before my meal came. So I wanted to have this, and I actually didn't even need it, but that is a really good tip if you're going somewhere to a restaurant, because here's the thing. I wanted to still go and enjoy my family, but I wanted the focus to be off the food as much and put the focus more on spending time with my parents and my kids and the community aspect of us being out to eat versus what it used to be, which was food, 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 food. So if I felt like I was struggling, I can still completely be present in conversations while still coloring. And then there's also, like I said, these little games in here where if I needed something a little more intense, or I needed to like keep my mind and distract myself a little bit more, I had that as well. So coloring pencils, my son gave me this so graciously. I also have a little, what's this, pencil sharpener. I also have some tape. Don't ask me why it's in here. My son bought this for me, and I actually have yet to do it. I have Post-it notes in here. I also don't know why I have them in there, but they're in there. But this right here, he bought it for me for Christmas, and it's this really cool thing that when you turn it on, you can turn the light on here and it lights up, and you have all these little papers that you can put, and you can just create your own scene. So see, here you have this horse and you have this little girl. Well, you have all of these little things that you can add to the horse, and you can dress the girl, and then you can add like scenery and background, and you just trace it. But basically it's allowing you to be creative and doing things, and then you can also, obviously, when you're done, you can color it. So I love the idea of this. I actually haven't used it yet, but again, I'm only 2 months in, girl. I am setting this up for lots of different things. Variety. That is something I knew I was going to need to have, was variety, and I have plenty of variety, not just in this toolbox, but just in life in general, because it used to always just be, oh, we're feeling stressed, oh, we want to eat, oh, well, let's go work out, and that kind of gets to be, well, I already did my workout, and now I just went on a walk, and well, I'm still feeling this way, and I'm feeling really tired, so I don't want to work out, and I need something else. So you really need to have a list of things that you can do and kind of go down them and see what works and what doesn't. Next in here, I completely forgot I even had these, but we have markers. So if I wanted to color with markers, I have the choice of either color pencils or markers. And in here, we have another big old coloring book. We have some more color pencils. I have some gum. The whole science behind this is like if you're wanting to eat, or just like sometimes you just want something, this would be really great if you're fighting an addiction, especially something like smoking. You have gum to kind of put a taste in your mouth. And then I have another pen. It's just a basic pen. And I have some word searches because I really love word searches, and they just make me happy. So I have these as well. And that is everything that's in my toolbox. Now this lives in my closet where my washer and dryer is, and it is where I used to keep all of my binge foods, all of my chips, all of my treats, all of that stuff. So instead of going to that closet to go get bags upon bags upon bags of chips, I now go to the closet and pull out my basket and do the work. I also want to mention this. This is something that I've been doing. This is going to be my 3rd month starting this, and literally life-changing. I think I already talked about this, but I want to talk about it a little bit more and why I feel like it's been working so well. If you look here at January's bingo card, I have all of these goals written down, right? And as I completed each goal, I was able to visually see myself completing each goal and giving myself what felt like an reward. This really helped to make me feel good about myself, because you just get that rush every time you accomplish something and you're able to go and put a sticker on it. And if you want to watch those videos, I will link them down below in the description box. This is also something very helpful that is also along the lines of being able to see something visually. So I have this calendar, as you see, it's right here in my pantry. So let me take it down and let me show you what the previous months look like. So as you can see right here, I have a heart, and I remind myself that means that I had a really hard day and I fought lots of urges. So let's go and look at January. So this is what January looks like. I have a star on every single day. Basically what that means is each day that I do not emotionally eat or binge, I give myself a star. And if days are really hard, I will put a heart, and that way I can go through each month and remind myself of what I've accomplished so far. So that's January. And then this is February. As you see, I had several more in February where I had lots of urges and it was a really, really difficult day. But as you also see, I have a star on every single day. So this just, every day I look at it, every time I open up my pantry, every day I get to see myself put on those stars. And I especially love the fact that I added the heart, because that way I'm able to show myself like, hey, you made it through this day, and this day was really hard too, and you made it through, so you can make it through right now too. So that's also something along the lines of visually being able to see your goals and keep track of your goals in a visual way. So there's that. When I feel feelings, I feel them. I allow myself to feel feelings. I allow myself and validate my feelings. I don't try to shove them off. I don't try to say I shouldn't be feeling this. I don't try to say when I'm angry, I hate feeling angry. Oh, I hate feeling angry. And one time in the past couple of months, I was angry and I was trying to go through, what can I do to get rid of this anger? I don't want to feel it anymore. I shouldn't be feeling this way. And I just was fighting myself. And then I said, stop, like, feel it. Feel it. Allow yourself to feel this anger. It's okay that you're angry. You have every right to be angry. So just validating the feeling and allowing myself to feel it kind of made me like, okay, well, what are we going to do about it now? And so I went and I screamed in my car several times. You just have to go through, like, it's a release and it feels great in the moment, but then it's like, okay, 15 minutes later, I'm angry again. And then you have to go through the process, validate the feelings. Don't try to shove them off. Don't try to say you're not supposed to be feeling this way. Don't try to make yourself feel guilty or shameful. Acknowledge what you're feeling, acknowledge the emotion, and say it's okay. And then I will go, okay, so what are we gonna do now? Let's go dance. And I'll go dance. And then that'll help. But then if it comes back an hour, 30 minutes later, it's like, again, the whole cycle. You go through the cycle again. You acknowledge, you accept, you allow yourself to feel the feelings, and then you go and you find, okay, well, what am I gonna do? Because I can't eat. I'm not going to eat. So I hope that this video has helped you guys. I could literally talk about this for hours on end. And like I said, this has been 2 months, 60 days of me not emotionally eating. And that is freaking huge, because I don't know if I could ever say that I've done that. I know I can say I've gone 60 days without binging, but I don't know that I can say emotionally eating, because I used to hide behind the excuse of I would emotionally eat and I would say, well, I'm not binging, so yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. If you are new here, make sure you share this video and leave me a comment down below. And if you guys are interested in joining my channel membership, it is also listed down below in the description box or underneath this video. By the subscribe button, there is a join button, and it'll tell you all about what the different tiers are. Good luck with your journey. If you are on one, you are going to get through it. But the only thing is, you have to believe that you can do it, because if you can't, then you won't. But if you can, and if you believe if you believe in yourself and tell yourself you can, then you will. No matter how many times you fall, just continue to dust yourself off and pick yourself up, and you will get through it. I promise you, you will. It's not going to be easy. It is going to be probably one of the hardest things you will ever have to do. But you can do hard things, and maybe write a list of all of the hard things that you've done, so you can prove to yourself, especially when self-doubt gets in, you can prove to yourself, oh, well, if I did that, then surely I can do this too. And just take it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time if you have to. You will get through it, and remind yourself that it's not always going to be this way, and that the feeling that you're feeling is just temporary, and you do not want to numb that away. You do not want to numb it away. It is not worth it. I love you guys. Have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.